Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my Panda palette finale for 2020 and I'm gonna let you know about 2021 in a minute at the end. But let's just kind of show you, I want to wrap up this year, just be done with it. Do you know that kind of way? I just want to be done with it. So, those of you who don't know, I've been panning these two palettes since I think about May. But then I'll get to that. So what was I doing before May? Well, I decluttered a palette, but if I have a picture of it, I'll put it on the screen. It was the Urban Decay Vice 2. That palette died on me. It died. However, we did finish a shade in this palette. So I will show you that shade. So I finished one eyeshadow from that palette. I did hit pan on a few things as far as I'm aware. But I did finish one and I kept the pan so that you could see it. So we have one pan empty. And I was also panning the Urban Decay Naked palette. This was the first ever palette that was a big deal, big like expensive thing into my collection. It was the most exciting thing known to man and I used and abused the crap out of this and she is gone. Urban Decay is by far the hardest to pan that I have panned so far. Formula to pan, it takes an absolute... Urban Decay formula is like the blush of eyeshadow to me. It's just very, very hard. I finished 6 shades in this palette this year, which brings my total empty pan number in this project that we've mentioned so far to 7. To 7, okay? So that's, oh my god, it's like a magnet. So we have 6 here and 1 here is 7. Then I previously had finished this shade from the Makeup Revolution, a palette that I had depotted. So that's another shade. So now we're at, that's not magnetic, we're at 8, okay? And then progress wise, I just want to show you this before I move on. I was working on another single eyeshadow and here's where we're at. It's like nearly gone. I'm gonna have to repress it because I'm struggling immensely to get like product out of it. But that's still going. I keep this on my table and I use it every single day to set my like brow bone area. And then I rolled these in May and I had really no intention, you know, I had no anything. I just said, you know what, I just want to work on these and here we are. So for this Modern Renaissance palette, if I have photos of everything, I will insert it for the Modern Renaissance palette now. And then here is where I am now. Oh yes. So I finished, what shade is it called? I finished Vermeer, guys. Look at all the rusty pan. So I finished Vermeer. I'm so happy about that. Yay. We had 8 pans finished, so then 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 pans finished this year so far. So I'm just gonna scoot over and do the uses again with you guys. First shade here is Golden Ochre. I used that twice. Vermeer, I used it another 11 times to finish. Bon Fresco, guys, I used this 6 times this month, is it? Yeah, 6 times. This shade does in fact look like a bruise on me, which is frustrating, but you can use it as a contour shade as per Laura's advice. It does work for that. There was something else that I used it for, but I can't remember what it was. But anyway, that looks like a bruise on me. Antique Bronze I used twice. Love Letter I used 3 times. Love Letter is actually quite a nice shade. I am actually enjoying using Love Letter. Cypress Umber I used twice. Raw Sienna I used twice. Burnt Orange 3 times. Primavera is gone. And Red Ochre I used 4 times. Venetian Red I used once. Warm Taupe I used 10 times. I use Warm Taupe in my brows, if you can see, and then Realgar, the orange one, I used 3 times. What I've noticed with these 3 red shades is that if you dip your brush into one of those reddy shades and then you dip it into like a, don't blow it off or anything, and then dip it into like a matte cream setting shade or whatever, it seems to come out as a colour that I wanted Bonfresco to be, a non-bruised version of Bonfresco. So this is where I am with this palette, and then I will go and show you where I am with my Subculture, and we'll count up everything at the end. Just so happy about this. Subculture. So I'm going to, if I have photos of Subculture since May, I think it was May, it could have been June, I'll show you that now. So my goal this time for Subculture was to give a lot of use to New Wave and Roxy, and hopefully, like, if I could hit pan. And here is where I am. So I hit my goals. I hit pan in 2 shades out of this palette this month. I hit pan in Roxy and I hit pan in New Wave, and I actually love this palette. I love it. So number of uses, Dawn. Dawn is here. I used that 4 times. Like, how do I get so much? How is there still so much product in it? I don't know. Destiny, I only used once. I'm not really fond of Destiny because it's very like, it looks green in the pan, but on my eye it looks kind of black. That's all it looks like. Adorn, I used Adorn only once. All Star, I used 5 times. Mercury, I used twice. Axis, there's a dip in Axis now. I've used Axis twice. Roxy, I used that 8 times. Electric, I used 4 times. Fudge, I used 3 times. New Wave, I used 6 more times. Untamed, twice. Edge, once. And Rowdy, once. So that means I used everything in this palette, which is great. And I hit pan on those 2 shades. So how many pans did I finish this year? Finish, and then how many did I hit pan on? So I finished 12 shades and I hit pan on 8. That's actually fantastic. I'm terrible at panning eyeshadow. It's probably because like this part was ABH, like in fairness, that's very, you know, easier, because I don't know. My goal with these palettes weren't to finish them. My goal was to kind of prioritize them, and I just, one thing I learned is I kept forcing myself so that I had progress to show every month, and that's not really healthy either. What I have since started to do, which seems to be more successful, is I leave these palettes out all of the time, and then if I'm using another palette and I want to use a yellow for some reason, I'll choose the yellow that's here. If I want to use the brown, I'll choose the brown that's here. But I have 2 lid shades left. I have 2 shimmery shades left here. And then this palette, Antique Bronze, I can get away with not as a lid shade, but as a lid shade because it's kind of a satin. You know what I mean? So I will be bringing these palettes. I think this is how I'm going for now. I don't want to give everything away, but what I will tell you is for 2021, these palettes will be rolling over into 2021. I will film my intro in January because the first half of my video will be the Pan That Palette side, but there will be a second half that I find exciting, and basically I'm bridging the gap between Pan Those Eyeshadows and this, which is a spoiler I suppose, but not really, like it's not a secret. But I still want to have the priority because I do have a second Subculture palette and I love it, so, and it's only new, so I want to keep working on this, and then obviously the shades in here are fine to work away on as well. And I'm now starting to get an appreciation for those red shades. I have actually some of it on me today. Like I'm wearing the, let me just show you the glitter. Can you see the glitter? I'm wearing this palette today, but for the Ready Crease shades, I used a lot of these 2 palettes as well. So I'm really happy with that. To be honest, I can't wait to finish Bonfresco because that color is terrible on me. It's really not nice on me at all, but I refuse to not natural. At this point I have to do it naturally. I have to finish it myself. So these palettes, I'm probably still going to be using all of these shades every day that I do makeup in some way anyway, because I use Warm Taupe in my brows literally every single time I do my makeup. And then if I'm using any other shade, I dip into these. So I'm going to struggle because I started to get sick of orange, and I started to get sick of not green, but green and orange together, because, and then plum, like there's no really other alternative, you know? And like, I don't want to force myself to rush on Adorn because I love Adorn, you know, but I don't want to force myself to rush on it either, because I actually like it. So I have these 2 shimmer shades left, so they're just 2 lid shades, and then I have a pile of every other shade. Like these are going to take a long time to finish. Like they're just going to take a long time to finish. They're matte shades and they're extremely pigmented, but I still want to keep working on it, you know what I mean? So that means now that after my year-long makeup empties, these can go in the bin, but I think for now I'm going to keep this because I can't throw it away. Nope. So that is my Pan That palette finale. I intend to put this up on Christmas Day. I don't know what will happen, but if it is, happy Christmas. I hope that it went well for you. I hope it wasn't too lonely. Christmas can be very lonely, particularly this year. I know that it will be for a lot of people if you've lost someone in your family. So I hope that it's going okay for you, and I hope that you're eating loads of food and that you're chilling out and having a nice time. So thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you the next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.